Okay, call this meeting to order, and we do a moment of silent prayer, and we want special attention to Heather, our DPW Assistant Director right now. Her mother is very ill and possibly making her transition, so we want to hold her up in prayer especially. So a moment of silent prayer, please.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Roll call, Mrs. Franks.
Mayor Kindle,
Present.
Councilwoman Costantino,
Present.
Councilman Jenny.
Here.
Councilwoman Pies.
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Here.
Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Councilman Toussaint.
Present.
Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
City Attorney DeWally.
Here.
All right. I need a motion to approve the minutes.
Well, I wasn't here, so.
I'll
Not
make the
everybody at
motion
one
to,
time.
I'll make the motion to receive and to approve the minutes from the regular city council meeting held on September 19th, 2022. Receive and file the library board meeting held on August 28th, 2022. And receive and file the minutes of the planning commission meeting held on September 28th, 2022.
Support.
Support. Discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I would like clarification on the minutes concerning my comments. Specifically, I would like my comments to read that I had commented on a CNN video report that presented video documentation of Councilperson Costantino conducting a poll watching training in which she told participants to break rules at the polls on election day by writing notes while poll watching during the upcoming election and to act like spies and get back to her with information, as well as a video interview in which she confirmed what she said. I would like it to also add that I commented that I am additionally disgusted with her call to council comments blaming an opposing political party for her actions, and that I further commented that city council is nonpartisan and that we work together for the best interests of our city regardless of our personal political affiliations. Thank you.
Okay. All right. All right then. Is there any further discussion?
Madam Mayor, I guess since we're correcting that, I would like to add in the notes that there was no law violated, that there actually was no laws
Yeah,
broken.
Wait.
And if she's gonna be doing this, then I think
Hold
I
up,
should probably
hold
be doing
up,
it too.
Hold up. You cannot change the minutes like that. She was just correcting something that was said.
That I
in terms
said.
From her. Is that not correct?
That I said.
That she said. So you can't add to,
No, well then correct it to what I said.
but no, you cannot add to the minutes.
I'm not adding to the minutes. I am clarifying.
No, that's
Point of
that's
order,
still-
that should be part of call to council. Your
Right.
comments could
If
be
you
part of
wish
call
to
council.
add to it that, or say something to that point, do it in the call to the council. That would be the correct way to do it. You cannot add to the minutes. Hers was she said a correction as opposed to you saying clarify. It means you adding to it.
Yeah, I didn't want a correction. I asked for a clarification of what I said.
Okay, all right then. If there's no further discussion, we'll take a motion to approval of the minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, public comments on agenda items and agenda items only.
On new business, number 3, or not, I mean, on number 1. There's a resolution to hire 2 people. It seems like it should be 2 resolutions, because it seems like you're hiring a package, that you're not giving council a choice to hire one or the other, they come together. When our last city manager was here, we had no deputy city manager. I'm not quite sure why we need one now. Hopefully you'll answer that.
Okay,
Stephen was brought on to be, he has a long title, I wrote it down. Our Economic and Community Development Deputy Director. He's doing a fantastic job. I hope council will answer, are we going to replace that person? So now we're gonna have a city manager, a deputy city manager, and replace him. I'd like to know in our budget how we afford all of those people. Lastly, I'd like to know why this time it wasn't done as it's been done in the past, where there was an interview process amongst council, our clerk, I think last time, well, it must have been John. 3 candidates were brought in front of an audience and the council where they were able to interview them. While we may have made some comments that didn't matter, council was able to hear them and then make their choice. It seems like tonight we have 2, which they may be very highly qualified candidates. This is not against the candidates. That they're being brought up and it's, here you go, here they are, yes or no. There's no other choices. And I hope that these questions are answered by my council and my mayor tonight. Thank you.
and we have had a deputy city manager before. We had one, that's where Joe came from.
Right.
Right. So it's not a new precedent. Is there anyone else who would like to discuss anything on the agenda? Yes.
I was going to save this till a little later, but being that it's on the agenda and we're hiring 2 people, how come we can afford a deputy city manager when we can't afford enough people to go out and take and ticket people for lawns and everything else? We have a shortage in DPW.
And we are trying to hire in DPW.
I understand, but still, we don't have enough people that are going out, and why are we hiring a deputy if we can't pay a person to go out and do like the blight and everything else? Because every time I call, I'm told that we haven't got enough people to go out and do this. We're hiring another person besides the city manager, is what I believe on this. And we ain't got the money to take and hire another person just to be in the department to go out and do that.
Sir, we are in the process of hiring. If you look on the website, you see that the applications is there. So we are in the process of hiring for DPW.
The idea is that doesn't take care of what's going on right now.
Well, sir, we have to go through a process,
Okay.
and the process is being met right now. Is there anyone else who would like to speak about agenda items? If not, let's move on to the consent agenda. I need a resolution.
Madam Mayor, I'll make the motion to approve the consent agenda, items 1 through 5.
Support.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay. We have to old business, and since we have no old business, we'll move on to new business and city manager report.
Okay, item G1, conditional offer of employment, city manager and deputy city manager. Mayor and council, after the interview process conducted by the city manager selection committee, in which 12 applications were received and subsequently narrowed down to 7 applicants, the results of the interview process are as follows. 1 applicant withdrew her resume and another applicant failed to show, suggesting he thought the interview would be taking place via Zoom. The remaining 5 applicants were interviewed in person by the committee, and the committee majority determined the best fit for our community. Given our unique circumstances, it would be to offer a conditional offer of employment for city manager to Mr. Wendell Byrd, and number 2, offer a conditional offer of employment for deputy city manager to Mr. Stephen Lindley. I have attached their respective applications for your review, and both applicants will be available to answer any questions regarding their responsibilities and qualifications. It is recommended that these offers be extended to each candidate. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor, can I make the resolution to offer a conditional offer of employment to Mr. Wendell Byrd for city manager and for the city of Harper Woods, and further to offer conditional offer of employment to Mr. Stephen Lindley as deputy city director for the city of Harper Woods?
Support. Any discussion?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I have reservations about the process.
I understand.
And I believe that most of the comments that I was going to bring forth were brought forth by a resident in Harper Woods. We have not been given any of the other applicants' information. In the past, we have always had the opportunity to talk to applicants to determine as a council. And I feel that this process is, I just feel like it's not being handled properly. I also have no idea what the offer of employment is, because that hasn't been presented to me. And from what I understand, 12 people applied, 7 were contacted by the committee, 5 remain. I don't know anything about the 5 that were being interviewed. I have no idea what the vote was. We hear that it's a majority, and that's not a unanimous vote, so I don't even know how the vote shook out. And I guess I feel as if the process is flawed. Further, I would recommend that the city invest some money in getting the MML to step in and do the process for us. This is the most important decision as a council that we're going to be making for our community. Choosing a city manager who will take us forward into the future is vitally important for the community. And I don't like the idea, and it has nothing to do with the people. It has nothing to do with the people.
Okay.
But I don't like the idea of the fact that I feel I'm being railroaded. I feel like I have no idea about what is available to us, and I'm not comfortable with this process.
Okay, and I can answer that from the first beginning regarding the other applicants. We've never, when we hired Mr. Raker as a deputy manager, we had just 2 candidates that came before us, Mr. Raker and a young lady from Oak Park, just 2. We didn't see any other We didn't see any other applicants or resumes from anybody else other than those two people. And from that choice, we had a choice of making a decision between the two people. Everybody, you all voted for Mr. Raker, and the other lady was not voted upon. I mean, was not the one who won. So it is not that we have not set precedents before. And when
There was a
Mr. Raker,
choice. You mentioned there was a choice. There's no choice here.
well,
There's no choice.
It's not necessarily no choice. You can interview both of them.
I don't have any of the other 5 applicants.
The other 5 applicants was not ones that we chose.
Well, that's
From-
clearly obvious, but what I'm saying is we, as a council, are not being given a choice.
Well,
And I want to
even if we
find-
gave you a choice of the two that we narrowed it down to, it's the same choice that we've always had as council. And maybe it was written up in the wrong way. We should have just said interviews for and offered these 2 positions. But as it stands right now, we have both of the candidates here, and I would expect that we can do an interview if you all choose us to interview both of them right now. But being that we interview them both would also still mean that we would offer the same positions to them if that's the pleasure of the city council. If you want us to go back, no, we're not gonna spend $16,000 for MML to do our work for us.
But they, from every city that
And
I've looked
every-
at,
No,
every city that they have stepped in, they've gotten qualified candidates who have had city management experience, who have been formerly employed as a city manager.
as you remember also, Mr. Raker did not have any city management
And we were
experience.
burned.
Well, that was a choice that you guys made.
And then we also decided that he was not the appropriate city manager for us.
And if you look back over, if, the 2 of the people that we had that had city manager experience, they were only city managers for a year or 2 years at each different place. So it meant that they were like a revolving door. And we posted this on MML classification. So the opportunity was there. Right now, I think when Mr. Raker was doing the deputy city manager, we had about 16 people that applied for it, and it was narrowed down to 2 that came before us. So the process is the reason that we have a committee, is that the process goes through the committee and then is presented to city council. It's never been any other way.
Madam
Ma'am.
Mayor? Can I answer that? Okay, I was going to say, as a part of the committee, last time we did it, we had a committee, we interviewed all of the people just like we did this time, and we narrowed it down to 3. And we brought the 3 to the city council to be interviewed. This time, out of our 5, we narrowed it down to 2. And that is what we're actually bringing to council tonight. So it's really the same process, because we still want you to interview them, talk to them, and see if you agree that the proposed is for one to be the city manager and the other to be deputy. That's not written in stone.
Right.
That's for you here now to interview the 2 that we've narrowed it down to. And if, if the council doesn't agree, then that's fine, with the selection or with the way that, that the committee, decided that this is probably the best moving forward. But this is at that same process where we are at the interview process right now. And that's what we want the council to do. Talk to people and, you know.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I agree with Councilwoman Sawicki. There are a few things that really concern me. One is that, again, I don't believe we do have a choice, but now I'm confused because I'm hearing that we're going to choose, we have 2 candidates for city manager then?
Yes.
And so then I don't understand why the resolution calls for Mr. Byrd for city manager and for Mr. Lindley as deputy city manager, which is the other thing that concerns me, is that it's like we're hiring 2 people at the same time in the same package. But council, or at least I wasn't informed that we were creating a new position of deputy city manager. We haven't discussed the budgeting of this position. It wasn't publicly posted. There was no application and council interview that I understand for the deputy city manager position. I had thought it was only for the city manager position. And we haven't seen the job description or specifications or expectations or even hint of a contract or salary for that position. Also, I was concerned also that we only have one choice for city manager, although now I understand there's 2. I also looked at the wording from the resolution at last year's interviews, public interviews for council members, and it had included that the contract would be prepared for council to accept at its next regular meeting. And that wording isn't in here either. And that kind of concerns me also because we just have what I thought was the one choice coming forward. And I guess I don't like that we don't have more than one choice, considering that we had at least 12 people, or at least 7 people that were interviewed. Beyond that, I'm concerned that, at least from what's in my council packet, that it appears that one candidate did not submit a cover letter, and the second candidate submitted a sheet of paper with informally written paragraphs and no letter. So all of those things concern me.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
this is just wrong on so many levels. We don't even know this gentleman from anybody, and that's not right.
And did you know anybody from anything else?
Yes, I
before?
do.
You,
Yes.
You know who?
No, the other people, no, we never got a chance to see anybody else.
Right.
What?
And what I'm saying,
No, it's not right.
what I'm saying is that when we present anyone before us, you didn't know anybody until they were presented before you guys.
Yeah, and we dodged what? 1 bullet last time?
We dodged a bullet last
Yeah,
time. for
yeah, we
real.
did.
Yeah, but.
But you guys all
every-
pushed it through.
Excuse me?
But you guys all pushed that one through.
No,
Yes, you did.
no, you didn't. You all had your interviews right here in front of us.
And you pushed the young lady through that we dodged a bullet on.
No,
No, city
you
council
said,
voted.
we presented her, she presented here, all 3 of them presented themselves right here. And you all, along with everybody else, chose.
Was not me.
Well, maybe you didn't, but if the majority did rule that she would go forward and we would offer her.
But you had
a
3
city
people to
manager.
choose from.
Excuse
You
me?
had 3 people to choose from. We have nobody to choose from.
You said what?
You had 3 people to choose from. We have nobody to choose from.
Okay, so we had 3 people to choose
Mm-hmm.
from then, and you still chose the one that we dodged the bullet with.
I did not.
It doesn't matter what the city council
Tom,
did.
I
My
understand
whole point
what
is we
you're
had
saying.
3 people to choose from.
Okay,
We had city council.
We have nobody.
you can only do from the applicants that have presented themselves to us.
And we've met nobody.
And and looking back at them, you can look.
We
I
can't,
was
we
supposed
have
to be done
not.
before the meeting.
No,
Well,
this
that's
is
the whole
not
point
right.
of us having a committee that we do the process. So if
Just make
We are
every
to
committee.
present everybody in front of you guys.
Give us 3, give us 2, give us 4, not 1.
We're
not a
giving you
choice.
2.
You're not giving us
I want
2.
to comment too.
They're two different people, with two different
Madam Chairman,
jobs.
Madam Chairman.
Yes.
Well, I was on the committee also, and we've reviewed all these the candidates, look at their background. Some were from way out of town and didn't want to fly in, and those type of things. And I looked at each one of their backgrounds, and to be honest with you, I think this is the best combination out of that package of ones that we had to present to you, and the best formula that we have for this. I'm totally in support of it. And maybe because I had the opportunity to kind of look at the other candidates and review it a little bit better or whatever, but
You guys
I'm
did.
very excited about this approach that we have here. I think it's a wonderful one.
You guys did have that opportunity. We don't.
But that's
That's
usually the
what-
way
no,
of
no,
the
no, no,
committee.
no.
No, that's not how it's usually
It's not how it
done.
works.
Excuse me?
That's not how it's usually done.
If we presented you last time with 3 candidates, we had 6, 8 candidates before, and we presented you guys with 3. And out of that 3, you still picked Ms. Owens.
No.
Everybody's saying not me now.
The
It
council
had to
did.
have 4
The
at least
council
for us to
did.
move forward.
The council did.
The council did.
We are not being given that opportunity at
We are
this time.
not.
All right, okay, so then what we'll do right now, we'll withdraw it, and leave it, and then we'll come back with this. Because
But-
I don't want any of you all to feel like you're being railroaded, but we're the ones who sat there for evening after evening interviewing each one of these people. And these are the best 2 that came out of the bunch. But, just so that you guys will be satisfied, we will go back and give you all the interviews. If Mr. Lindley and Mr. Byrd would accept holding on for us to have one more pass at this, then fine. I want everybody to be satisfied because last time Mr. Raker was hired, I was the Long Ranger, said no, no, no. So this time, I want to make sure everyone is on board. But nobody in here sat on that committee but the 3 of us. And we went through each one of those applications. And people present themselves much differently than they do on paper. And after painful interviews, these were the 2 best out of it. But if you guys think that you could do better, then we'll go back to the drawing board if that's the pleasure. But like I'm saying, Mr. Szymanski and I have been holding down this fort for over 2 years with very little help or anything else. And we need to move forward because things are being held up that we can no longer hold up without a real city manager sitting in place. So, how often will the next one of you guys be available to go over the resumes that we have, and if you wish to call somebody in, who's available?
I am.
Madam Mayor, hold a special meeting. Hold a special meeting, or at least give us the other resumes. We have nothing to go on. We have nothing to go on.
Madam
The
Mayor, I
only
believe the-
resumes we've seen are for the 2 people that you want to hire tonight. And it's just not fair to council. We have nothing to go on.
Not a problem. Yes, Councilwoman Constantino.
Thank you. First of all, I want to say that both of these gentlemen seem to be very well qualified. And so I think you've done your due diligence through the interview process and application, or, you know, with the resumes and everything. However, who is our human resources specialist in the city? Because this doesn't seem like it's gone through the human resources process.
Do
It
we have
looks-
a human resource?
If we should,
Well, we don't.
well, then we can outsource it.
We don't
All right,
have
well,
a
can I
human
finish,
resource.
please? May I please finish? Thank you. there's a certain process you have to go through to cover our behinds on one hand, but also just to make it fair. First of all, we have to have job descriptions. You cannot hire someone without a list of job duties and expectations. All right? Well, that may be on the website, but that was not presented to us.
Thank you.
Okay? Now, secondly, if we're gonna be offering possible jobs to these people, we need a copy of the proposed language or salaries or whatever the agreements are gonna be, the salaries and benefits and such. We need that. We also need to know what criterion you guys went through for hiring. You know, we weren't given any questions and answers or anything like, we usually have a whole page of questions and answers and things like that. I wouldn't mind having that. My thoughts are, I think these guys look pretty good, at least on paper, and, well, we know at least one of them that we work well with, because we've worked with him over the last couple of years. But,
Last year.
or the last year, Mr. Lindley, we've worked with on many projects, and we know that we work well with him. But I think this looks a little hurried. We need to have two separate things. Who knows? We might interview them and decide to switch their jobs and put one and maybe not, who knows? But I think just for purposes of due diligence, let's follow the regular, human resources model and present all this information to us so we're not like smacked in the face, hey, we're hiring 2 people, and we just found this out Friday. So, I honestly, I don't have a problem with hiring them both. If, their job specifications are set out and things that will help the city in a lot of ways. But let's just do our due diligence first is what I'm saying. Otherwise, I'm in support of the 2 people you've put forth. I would have liked to seen maybe the next 1 or 2 candidates. I would, just so we have a comparison.
Yeah.
So either we feel lucky or we're like, oh, wait a minute, something might have been overlooked. We don't know. Could go in either way. But there's just a few things that need to be covered. So I'm wondering if either we should bring this up or have it, do you need like 2 weeks to prepare this for the next meeting? Or do we want to have a special meeting next week?
Right.
Maybe next Monday or something like that?
We will discuss it, and, we'll decide whether we have.
Well, I need advance notice.
Well, we'll
Yeah.
give you advance notice, but.
We
At this point-
tentatively have a meeting on the books for next Monday for budget, which we probably won't need.
What budget was tonight?
We have a extra meeting just in case we need it, but if we don't need it, then we're already all prepared to hold the next Monday night open. So I don't have a problem with that if you want to, but, it's like I'm in support of what you're doing, and I appreciate all the work you guys did, but at the same time, we just need to take it a few steps further, just to make sure we're following the right process, okay? All right, thank you.
Is there anyone else? I guess everybody has spoken. Okay, John, what shall we do now?
I just wanted to clarify a few things too, that it was the committee's, it was a majority decision. The application process for city manager is a lot different this year than it was last year. You'll really be surprised. If the council wants to see the applicants and the applications that we look through, that's fine. But as the mayor said, you entrust the committee to make the selection process, and we present the candidates. You have a chance tonight to talk to both candidates. You have a vote that you could take tonight. Like I said, give the candidates a chance to come to the podium and list their qualifications. As the mayor said, we're short-staffed, and we're at that juncture where things are starting to bottleneck. And, at least give the candidates a chance to speak.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
could we please give the two candidates that are present an opportunity to introduce themselves, tell us about their experience and how they plan to help Harper Woods get through the next stages?
Madam Mayor,
I think what Councilwoman Sawicki will just postpone this until next Monday. And at that time, everyone will have an opportunity to go over all the resumes. At least the last 5. We'll give you those resumes for the last 5, and then you all can make your decision by, if we get this to you tomorrow, or maybe by Friday, so that we have it ready for the special meeting on Monday.
then, Madam Mayor, can I offer, can I move to table this?
Yes.
Support.
Madam Mayor?
All in favor?
Point of
The
order,
vote-
the person.
Point of order is that the vote has to be taken on the table, on the tabling motion. It's been seconded.
Okay, all in favor of tabling this till next Monday?
Aye.
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 Any opposed?
Nay. I thought we were gonna give the candidates a chance to at least speak today.
No,
Okay.
we won't. We'll do it, we'll allow the council to have they say, looking over the resumes, the 5 resumes that we chose to move forward. And then from that point on, we'll see who they choose. And
Madam-
we'll go
Thank
forward.
you.
Because the one thing I don't want us to be divided about our city manager. Our city manager right now is very crucial. We have many things facing us right now, and we need to move forward with this immediately. So if this makes everybody comfortable on this council, then we will do it this way. I apologize to the candidates. We will move forward. If, hopefully that's agreeable to you, you'll still be able to make it to a Monday meeting at 7 o'clock. We have a special meeting specifically for this. Is that agreeable? Everyone has agreed to that.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I would also just like to clarify that I'm confused now because I thought we were hiring, or the option was to hire Mr. Byrd as a city manager and Mr. Lindley as a deputy city manager. But what I'm hearing then is that they're both up for each
City
job.
manager.
Right, and that's not made clear here in the resolution. And so
Yeah.
that's confusing. That's not made clear here.
That should have been a
And-
little bit clearer.
Yeah, and also, what I would want is to know how this fits into our budget, or
If,
we haven't even been presented with anything about an acting city manager. Last time we hired an acting city manager was in 2017. And
deputy city
Deputy
manager.
city manager, yes. That was
But we
last time.
also have.
But we knew that we were going to be deciding on that position. There was a job description for that position. There were expectations made from that position. I feel like I've been blindsided on suddenly having a new position, because it's also not clear to me then, if the candidate is already an employee here, then what happens with the position that's currently filled. So those are my concerns.
But we'll explain it all, okay? It's, the job description for city manager is there. The job description for the deputy city manager is also available. Some of the things that Mr. Lindley is doing right now is some of the same things that a deputy city manager would have been doing or
Right.
should have been doing.
But we haven't been made aware of that, other than what we would think in our own
And that's true,
minds.
that you guys are not aware of a lot of things that go on day-to-day operation because you're not a part of the day-to-day operation per se. So, let's bring you all up to snuff so you can feel that you really have a vested interest in how this is supposed to go.
Thank you.
I apologize if I did not make everything crystal clear, but the reasonings, I will make them very clear to you, each and every one of you, so that you'll know. We're putting this out because I could not discuss this with you guys without being in an open forum. So therefore, I guess I kind of blindsided you, okay? So I agree. I will make sure that you each get a clear understanding of the reasoning that we had decided to go this way. And time is of the essence, and we need to hurry up and move forward. So with saying that, we'll table this until Monday at 7 o'clock. Is that good for everyone? Thank you.
And
All right.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Could you please have the city clerk also include a copy of the stuff that we had posted on the MML site, just so that we have a copy of it?
It's on there.
I know, but I'm saying if you could include that in the packet of information that we'll
Yes.
receive. Thank you.
And just to be on the safe side, MML, no, we cannot afford to spend $14,000 to $16,000 just for them to look for somebody. So therefore, that's why we use their classification, their classified ad. And we also put that on the city manager's ad. So we put it there also, as well as our website. So we tried to cover all the bases without costing us a great deal of money.
Well, Madam
And that's who we got responded to.
let me comment one more thing too. Like, for example, two of the other candidates in that bottom five there wanted salaries that we just weren't going to
Oh,
afford.
yeah, $200,000.
Well, we can take a look at that when you get us the information.
I'm
Thank
sure,
you.
and you will.
Yes.
I will just
If-
have my
if there's-
comment on that.
Then we'll give you the last five. Okay, let's move on.
Okay, item G2, schedule public hearing, proposed lot split, 18,000 Vernier Road, Eastland Commerce Center. Mayor and council attaches a memorandum from the city clerk requesting to establish a public hearing on the proposed lot split at 18,000 Vernier Road. This request was recently reviewed by the Planning Commission, and they have recommended that city council hold a public hearing as required for the final approval. As her memo states, the request is to hold a public hearing at your next meeting, October 17th, 2022, and I concur with her recommendation. Mayor, a motion is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Salivi?
I'll offer the motion to schedule a public hearing at the October 17th, 2022 council meeting at 7 PM to hear public comments and inputs on the proposed lot split request by North Point, I'm sorry, I didn't have it in front of me. North Point Eastland Commerce Center Industrial LLC.
Support.
Support.
Okay. Discussion?
Madam Mayor? Oh, well, I guess I just want to say that I didn't understand why this, well, I'll leave it since we're just talking about a hearing, so, never mind. Thank you.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item G3, progress payment number 3, final, 2021 concrete pavement repair program number 180-260. Mayor and council, attached is a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 3, final, on the 2021 concrete pavement repair project number 180-260. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor? I'll make the resolution to approve payment to L. Anthony Construction Incorporated in the amount of $5,137.80 for progress payment number 3, final, on the 2021 concrete pavement repair project number 180-260.
Support.
Support. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilwoman Pies.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay.
And Mayor, before I conclude the city manager's reports, I just want to advise the mayor and the council that an ordinance meeting and a charter revision meeting will be held shortly after our budget adoption, which is on November 7th. And that concludes the city manager's reports.
All right, thank you. Call the audience, 3 minutes. Lady in the pink. State your name and street, please.
Hi, my name is Lori Boyd. I live at 18713 Elkhart, off of the corner of Riot and Elkhart. My complaint is, or my request, I should say, is that we get a speed bump in this area. You've got 2.5 blocks of unimpeded runway where these people are driving down our street at 40 to 60 miles an hour on a daily basis. It's not just once in a while. It's on a daily basis. We have kids that are out and about. They don't have any, if they want to play basketball, yes, they could go to the new basketball courts, but if they're young, they can't walk that far, or to Salter. But sometimes they're playing their hoops right there with the basketball hoop at the end of a driveway. They can get hit. And we have younger children that, maybe a mom looked away or something, and they're heading for the street. And here comes somebody flying 40 miles an hour. There has been multiple. I've lived in Harper Woods for 25 years. I've lived in the same house. And there has been continuous accidents at that corner of Elkhart and Riot. What do we need to do as a community to make this safer for this particular area? I know on Woodland, you guys had put a bump, but it was a plastic bump. And that didn't last very long, especially during the snow. I think the snow plow took it away. Let's get something concrete. Let's get asphalt mounds so that our kids can be safer. I don't ask for anything. I pay my taxes. I pay my water bill. I do everything that I'm supposed to do for our community. I'm asking you guys now to do something for the community. And it is very much needed. And I'm sure it's not just my street. I'm sure it's other streets. But I know for me and Lindell over there that this is a very, very big concern of ours. So I don't know what else to say or ask or what you guys suggest that I do, because I went to the chief of police. That didn't work. Okay? I was on a Zoom meeting a couple years ago, and somebody said email somebody. Okay, that never happened. So what is it that you guys suggest to us as a community, what we can do to make our streets safer? And that's all I have to say.
Would you speak with the chief after you finish, after the meeting is finished?
This gentleman over here? Sure, I will. Thank you kindly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mhm. Is there anyone else? Yes. It's the same. Good evening.
I just wanted to echo, I don't want to say too much, but I do want to say that there has been an accident. I've been living at 18712 Elkhart for 4 years now with my wife. And at the corner of Riad and Elkhart, there was just an accident last year because, again, there's a light at the corner of Kelly and Elkhart, and there's one way. And so there's no stop sign, no yield sign or anything, and then people just have to leave it up to their discretion. And at this point, we just don't know what to do. So I know that you said, Madam Mayor, to speak with the police, but I think we're getting several different, you know, directions, and we don't quite know what to do. So, you know, with respect to what you just said, we certainly will go to the chief of police, but we've been asked to do that before. But then we were also asked to talk to the city manager by someone, and we just don't know what to do. So we will take your, you know, advice, and I hope that we can bring some resolution to this. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Anyone else like to speak? Yes, Mr. Williams.
Madam Mayor, Council, residents, good evening. I'm Mr. Williams. I live on Woodside. I'm gonna be brief. Last meeting, there was a gentleman talking. There was someone in the audience if you refer to him, you're referring to all black people as monkeys.
Excuse me?
He said the word monkey several times. There was no one who escorted him out. I was looking over your guidelines. If someone was to say something like that or be disruptive, they were supposed to be escorted out. The resident that used the word monkey, he was not escorted out. If you review your tape from the last meeting, he sat back there when Councilwoman Williams made a comment about that painting. He commented then.
I didn't hear him. I didn't hear him. I really didn't. But if I had heard him, I would have escorted him out of here.
I
And
had to
he
leave
said
that alone
monkey?
because my first reaction was not going to be the best.
I know it wouldn't.
So what I'm going to say to the residents, if any of you are prejudiced, keep your remarks to yourself, okay? Just put a muzzle on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Did you see?
Did you hear anything?
All right, is there anyone else?
Good evening, Madam Mayor, Council. My name is Peter Maniaci. I've been up here a couple times updating about the Harper Woods Business Association that we're forming here. And I'm coming here today to give you guys an update on that. Again, we have our kickoff event that's scheduled for next Tuesday, October 11th. And we're going to be hosting that at They Say. And so we're inviting all the local businesses, council, administration, everybody. The time's going to be 4 to 6:30, and I got flyers that I can pass out to all you guys when I'm through here. Would be happy to have you, and any business owners that you do talk to, please feel free to invite them or have them contact me. The information's on the flyer, and we're looking forward to getting the thing going.
All right, okay.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Yes.
Thank you.
Hello again. Okay. First of all, I'd like to throw out a thank you to the police for giving tickets on Beaconsfield at Beacon School for parking when they're not supposed to, but now they're starting to park on the grass. The other one is that my opinion on the second deputy, we hired Joe because we knew Burke was leaving.
You know who was leaving?
Burke,
No.
chief.
Guitar chief.
No.
Well, he was under someone before, whoever it was, and we knew that he was leaving. So we hired him to be an understudy. My suggestion is that you take that money for that position and give it to the police so they can up the ante to get us more police. Because right now I know they're having a hard time because we're not offering enough.
Okay.
Shelby Township offers $24,000 sign-on bonus. And it's hard to compete against that. And we're kind of low at the end of whatever gets paid to everybody else, except for Detroit, and they just got a raise. Empty homes. I have a bunch of them on my block that are empty. They're owned by one person. He has 6 of them besides 2 of them by me. The 2 by me have been emptied for probably almost 4 years. I don't know what the thing is on empty homes, if they're supposed to be paying $200 a year and supposed to be re-inspected every year. I don't know. I called and complained to Safe Built, and you know, I don't get too much. And then as far as speed bumps, I got some pictures for you of them putting down asphalt on cements, and they're not grooving into the cement. They're putting them on in Detroit now. And the other thing is as many times as I complain about the grass and everything, I got 2 by me. I complained that 2 weeks ago, still haven't cut it. We have a lot of bad characters moving in from Detroit. In Detroit, they can do whatever they want.
Excuse me, you do not know if they're all from Detroit, so don't say that.
Most of
You
them
just
are
say-
from
no,
Detroit.
No, you talking about being racist, and we were just talking about that.
You
You
take
say-
that
you
whichever
say
way
they're
you
moving
want.
into this community. To identify a particular city is being unfair. So just say that
Okay.
someone is moving into our community.
All right, we'll say bad characters moving into our community and with bad habits where they don't cut their grass, they put their cars on their lawn and everything else. And there's only one city that I know, I won't mention it again, but
All right.
that allows that.
We have enough. That's it. Thank you.
You know, when it comes up
Thank you.
for election,
Thank you.
I'm definitely
Thank you.
gonna try and get you out.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Hello, my name is Tony Wagner, Washtenaw Street, Harper Woods. Wasn't planning to speak tonight, but the couple here that lived on Elkhart kind of inspired me to speak up on it. I live on Washtenaw Street that's probably very similar as far as being a straightaway racetrack. And just by coincidence today, about a couple hours ago, I happened to drive down 2 of my former streets where I lived in Detroit, University Street and Berkshire, both of which have been speed humped. And it makes a tremendous difference. I will admit, driving down University, it was a little bit annoying how I keep slowing down, but that street is probably so much safer than the comparable street would be in Harper Woods. And I'm sure people, you know, DPW people have done the cost studies, how much for speed bumps versus speed humps, but I just have to believe those speed humps are a more efficient way to go than trying to figure out how to pay the police overtime. You know, I don't have the cost figures. All I can say is they really make a difference. Drive down those Detroit streets that have the speed humps, and you feel so much safer. I would feel so much better having my kids on one of those streets than the street where I live today. That's all I had to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Is anyone else in the audience that would like to speak? Okay. We'll call the audience, call to council, starting with you, Councilwoman Williams.
Good evening, everyone. I just said a few things I wanted to say. Of course, I did appreciate Mr. Williams speaking up about hearing prejudice, derogatory terms out in the audience. Up here, we didn't hear it, but that does not mean it did not occur. There were several other people, you know, in the audience nearby who heard it. And, you know, as city, as members of the community, we have a diverse community, and we have to keep that into consideration and be respectful at our city council meetings, both ourselves and the audience, okay? Because our community is diverse, and be respectful of, you know, of your neighbors and who each other are. So I did appreciate those comments. And just one short, quick comment about the candidates that we would have brought forward. I know some of you were concerned about 2 jobs and different pay. One of our candidates, keep in mind, is already working for us. He's already working for Harper Woods. So the difference in that salary would not be a giant significant change. The change was not like it's a completely, you know, over the top, because that one person is already working for us. And we did want to retain that knowledge, and, you know, and with the committee, I know last time the city council did respect the people that we brought forward, because we did our due diligence. I understand that, you know, the council feel that a lot of this was sudden and there are things missing from the packet. I do agree with that. There's other information that probably should have been included in our packet. But as a committee member, we went through the vetting process. But you'll see that for yourselves pretty shortly. And I guess that's pretty much all I have to say. I mean, I did wish that, you know, you was more support of the choices that we made. You know, even though I understand things are missing from the packet though, and that you would feel more comfortable yourselves looking at the applicant. So, you know, I'm fine with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I have nothing at this time.
But I'm not unsupportive of the candidates. I had a problem with the process, and then I got further confused of how it reads here, and then hearing that I'm still kind of confused if one was going to take it and would the other one really want the other one. But anyway, I'll move off that. Regarding the speed bumps, I drive in from, excuse me, from Ross sometime on some of the side streets, and Detroit doesn't have stop signs there, and sometimes they don't even have the yield signs. And I know one of our residents who's not at the meeting today, I think it was last year or the year before, she lives on Washtenaw, and she was in an accident because somebody just ran right through. And so I think, this is the assumption I'm making, is that that's just like a continuance from Detroit there. And so I'm thinking if we could, at the minimum, install some kind of stop signs there. I don't know that it would necessarily stop people, but then we could at least point to that if our police pulled them over or something like that. So I'm wondering if you could, I don't know how stop signs are, who decides if they're up or where, but if that's something we could take a look at. And that's all I have to say.
Councilwoman Sawicki?
No, I don't think I have much else to add. Thank you.
Councilman Toussaint?
Oh, yes, on a lighter note here, I want to comment on the pasta dinner for the Lions Club. I thought it was very successful, and I hope all of us supported it. Excuse me, I had no idea. We also, on the second part about training for RRC, Redevelopment Ready Community, that Stephen is doing a fantastic job of getting us all educated with that. Also, I want you to take the opportunity to make sure you get your advisor, this insider, and see our longest standing Kitty City Council person featured on the cover. Can you recognize her? And, you know, and also just to comment one more thing on this city manager thing. when we looked at this, and I looked at it closely too, we looked at, salary requirements, and we looked at our city and how it fits, and who's gonna fit the person. Somebody could have, 4 or 5 years of city manager, but is that person really gonna fit the way our administration and where we're moving forward with, or it's gonna be a disruption? We looked at the thing, and the whole chemistry of those two applicants right there was just so perfect that, maybe we did not take it all through the process correctly, but I'm very still satisfied with that choice, and I hope that ends up being our final choice. All of us, again, I hear about these, every week, somebody comes in and tells us about the speeding through the city. Obviously, it is an issue, and we think the only solution is speed bumps. Now, speed bumps, I'm sure, qualify for a lot of things, but speed bumps do mess up your cars. They eventually will mess up your shocks, they eventually will mess up your, a whole bunch of things. So, having a whole bunch of them, everybody bump down the street it's not necessarily always the solution. I do like the idea of maybe we should employ some more stop signs, so we'll have some reason to perhaps ticket a person, can say, oh yeah, you missed that stop sign, at least maybe get their attention. That's all I have to comment on today.
Okay. Councilwoman Constantino?
Yes, a couple of things. First of all, the Lions Club pasta dinner was very nice. They had generous portions. Even my husband was impressed with that.
That was good.
Yes. If he was full, then you know that you did a good job with that. Also, I wanted to mention, I don't know if the mayor's mentioning this or not, but this Saturday in Salter Park from 12 to 4, we're having an event for all the creatives and everything in the community. And since I teach art, of course, I want to be there for that. But I recommend it. Something new and something different to look forward to. As far as speed bumps go, I teach in Detroit Public Schools, and I have to cross multiple speed bumps on my way to work. And while they are annoying, they have not messed up my suspension, but they have forced me to drive more slowly. And not that I would have driven that fast in the first place around children, but it does make you think. Like, you don't want to just peel into the school parking lot because, there could be a little kid there. So I think they are removable, I believe. So I'm wondering if maybe looking into it, I know we're coming upon winter so closely, so I might be a little bit late for this year, but maybe we could look into something, if we get maybe a volume discount or something and get quite a few for the spring. Our finances are in better shape than they were even a few years ago, thanks in big part to Mr. Szymanski and all the, property values going up in the community and such like that. But that's something we really need to look into. I go over the speed bumps every single day, and my car does not seem any worse for wear. So that's all I have to say about that. And also, I am very much looking forward to bringing on a new city manager and probably assistant city manager. So I think that it has been a lot, for Mr. Szymanski to take on, and he did step in at a time where we needed him, and we appreciate that, but it's a lot. And he's probably the best financial officer the city's ever had, and it's good to put him back in that position. That's what he's really good at, but I would like to see what we come up with, and maybe with a new city manager, we'll be able to accomplish a lot more of our goals, getting our city charter updated, and all these plans that we need to do to apply for grants and different things like that we have in the works. So I'm really looking forward to that. So that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. Well, I have the last word, and I just want to say I'm not oblivion to everyone's concern. I probably put the horse before the cart, so to speak. But I apologize to Stephen and to Mr. Byrd, both for putting you in this awkward position right now. I apologize. And so we will go forward with this on Monday, and you guys can look over and see that we truly did vet everyone, and the best two candidates came out of it. Now, when you talk about the budget, we knew when we made this offer of being a deputy and a city manager, that we would be able to do this within our budget frame. So it's nothing that will be taken away from anything in order to do this, but that office needs 2 people working it. We are much different than it was when Mr. Raker was hired in as deputy city manager. And at that time, Scotty was taking over, and he was getting ready to leave that following year. Scotty did so much more. We have not had a Scotty or a Lightline in many years, and we have gotten comfortable with those 2 doing so very much. And one of the problems, probably most likely, with Mr. Raker was that he was not able to do both jobs. You know, we're not going to discuss too much about that, but saying that we are within our budget, we will not be taken away from any other department with doing this. We are also in the process, if you know anyone that wants to work at the DPW, please let them go to the website and fill out the application for DPW maintenance. We are hiring right now. We need as many people as we can, because we as a city have been operating on a shoestring for the past almost 3 years. Many of us are tired. We don't want to totally collapse because the city is dependent on us to do the best that we can do. And that is the reason why we present it like that. Please, believe me that we, or the administration, is doing the best that we thought for our community. And the reason that these 2 people were selected, it was because they bring 2 different elements to our community that is vastly needed. I mean, introduction and connections. You know, Harper Woods, we want everyone to know who Harper Woods is so that we'll be able to get the kind of funding, foundation grants, and whatever we can get here. Maybe, you know, even the speed bumps or whatever else we need here without coming out or charging our residents more money. The one mandate that I have for our future city manager, bring me a way to bring down the taxes. We pay some of the highest taxes. You all know that. But we need to be able to enhance our coffer without straining our citizens any longer. But we can only do that when we bring in new monies. And we need people with ideas to bring in money. And that is the reason that these 2 gentlemen were selected, because I felt that they could bring, well, we felt that they could bring something really to the table for all of us to expound on and to make our city the kind of place we want to live in. So in saying that, we have a budget hearing and everyone is welcome to it. And by a show of hands, if you tell us how many is going to be here, we go into the small room, but if it's going to be a lot of you guys, we need to stay right where we are. And we will have the budget hearing. So I need a motion to
Move into the
Move into the budget session.
Make the motion to adjourn to the
Support.
budget session.
Any discussion? And all in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so if you want to stay for the budget hearing, stay where you are. If not, we will be moving over to the other seat. But I think, for sake of having, we can be right here